Hello, and welcome to Book 3, Chapter 8 of You Should Be Reading. I'm your host, Pratty, and this week I'd like to talk to you about Nunslinger by Stark Holborn. Now, Stark Holborn is an alias of another writer. I don't know who that is. It's a bit of a mystery, but that's okay. However, Nunslinger. Nunslinger is a Western, and it is. See, I'm not usually into Westerns, but I saw this book sitting just like this on the shelves at my local chapters, and I was like, Nunslinger? That's that's kind of interesting. I like the pun. Uh, it's very, very apt. It has a nun on the cover with a gun. I'm like, I'll pick it up and have a look. So I do, and I read the little back blurb, and there's some awesome stuff. I'm going to read you the back blurb just to give you a hint because the way the author has it on here is absolutely perfect. The year is 1864. Sister Thomas Josephine, an innocent visitatine, visitandine monk, or nun, I should say, monk, listen to me, visitandine nun from St. Louis, Missouri, is making her way west to the promise of a new life in California. When her wagon train is attacked on the wild Laramie plains, Thomas Josephine finds her faith tested and her allegiance torn between Lieutenant Theodore F. Carthy, a man too beautiful to be true, and the mysterious grifter Abraham C. Muir. Falsely accused of murder, she goes on the run, all the while hunted by a man who has become dangerously obsessed with her. Her journey will take her from the forbidding snow-blasted mountain peaks to the hottest, most hostile desert on earth, from Nevada to Mexico to the Indian Territory, and her faith will be tested in ways she could never imagine. Now, whether or not this actually happened, I don't know. They're billing it as the true tale of Sister Thomas Josephine. But whether it's actually happened and is based on some real life account, or whether this is all just made up out of whole cloth, it doesn't matter because it is an amazing little book. Uh, it is divided up into 12 books. Each one was released individually as an ebook before being compiled into this big thing. And each book is kind of like the true tale of Sister Thomas Josephine and how blah, blah, blah happened to her. And it just deals with those little events. And it's divided up into nice little sections. Each chapter, of which there are 16 per book, is very, very short, very, very quick and easy to read. It's easy to pick this up and flip through a few chapters and put it down and pick it up again later. So it's a very easy read despite being a fair-sized book. And one of the neat things about it that I find is that it really dives whole hog into the Western genre, and it really pulls that forth and makes it accessible and easy to read. It doesn't try to to pander to other people. It doesn't be like this is a Western that all people will enjoy. No, no, this is a Western for Western people, for people that enjoy the Western genre. And as I said, I'm not really big on the Western genre, but I still enjoyed it regardless because it's just that well written of a book. Sister Thomas Josephine, it's all told from her perspective, so you get to see her take on everything that happens and goes on, and all the strange things that happens to her, and all the fun as she learns to become a gunfighter. So it's quite interesting. Um, I do I do enjoy this book, and I do recommend it heartily to anybody who might think to give a Western a try. Check this book out. It has some amazing characterization, some wonderful little bit of a romance, if you will. Even though we're dealing with a nun, a bride of Christ, as she calls herself, um, as the main character, there's definitely some romance there as she grows fond of one of her traveling companions, and it's definitely kind of interesting. Throughout it all, you can see that other people are looking upon her as this monster, um, but she's still having doubts about herself and still kind of trying to hold true to the ideals that she believes in. And all in all, it paints a wonderful picture of our main character, Sister Thomas Josephine, and all the strange things that she gets up to along the way. It's really, really quite good. Um, I don't want to spoil too much of what goes on, but yeah, she ends up falling in with outlaws, um, falling back in with the Theodore F. Carthy there, the lieutenant in the Union Army. Um, they actually talk about Abraham Lincoln dying at some point during this, so you know the time frame around when it's set in 1864. Um, and there's also outlaws. There's an Indian woman, uh, all kinds of interesting characters that are may only be in it for like a handful of chapters and then are never seen from again. But the impact of her meeting him and the impact of the events she gets into carries on as time goes on. It it's really quite a wonderful story. Um, and I'm not going to spoil too much more of it beyond that because I really want you all to read it yourself and definitely definitely get in there, dig into this wonderful book with all this wonderful goodness that's involved in it. So yes, give it a shot, give it a read, because this week you should be reading Nunslinger by Stark Holborn. Uh, and as always, if you like my videos, please feel free to give that like button a tap, give that subscribe button a tap if you haven't already, so you can stay updated for all the videos that I release when they happen. And feel free to throw a like in the comments, get down in there, give me something to respond to, something to talk to, because I do love hearing about uh, anything. If you read the book, let's talk about it. Because, yeah, I quite enjoyed it, and I would like to get into discussions with people. So please do all of that. If you would, I would greatly appreciate it. So, yes, you should be reading Nunslinger. Get on it. And I will see y'all next time.